It is total anarchy in the streets right now.
Has been injured as rioting youth started throwing rocks at police.
There's an unjust law is no law at all.
Historic St. John's Church set under fire.
God.
Is this a war going on here?
We're really talking about our future. What type of country do we want to be?
Hello, welcome to Holding the Line, America's fight for religious freedom. Michael Tait is no stranger to followers of Christian music. He's the co-founder of DC Talk and currently the lead singer of Newsboys. In 2014, a film called God's Not Dead came out in theaters. Audiences loved it, spawning 2 sequels and a 4th in production. That first film focused on religious freedom in the setting of a college classroom. It tackled many of the controversies our nation struggles with today. The Newsboys song became the title and the battle cry of many Christians. Michael Tait and the Newsboys appear in the film. And here's how that all came about.
Well, God's Not Dead. When you write songs, it's a fun thing. I always say the closer you get to the Creator, the more creative you should get. So we do a lot of praying, a lot of seeking, a lot of asking God to walk through the room, as Bono says from U2. Walk through the room and blow on the song, blow on our creative session. And a friend of ours, Daniel Bastia, actually had a song called Like a Lion. A few people had cut the song before that. We got a hold of it, put our Newsboys spin on it, called it God's Not Dead. And thus the song was reborn. And the song became a hit, a massive hit in the Christian market. And a pastor friend of mine, Rice Brooks, apologetics kind of guy, smart man, wise man, wrote a book, and then PureFlix approached us about the movie. I knew the movie had effect on culture when I went back home to DC, to some of the areas that we refer to jokingly but seriously as the hood. And some of my friends were like, man, we saw that movie, man. And I saw some guy approach me, he goes, what's up, dog? What's up, man? He goes, man, you're the guy in that movie, man. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, you're a star, right, man? I said, well, I'm not really a star. And I forgot I did the movie. I really forgot what he was talking about. He goes, that movie, man, God ain't dead, man. I said, yep, that's my movie. He goes, yeah, sorry, I like that movie, brother. That's a good movie, man. I like what it said. I knew then we were making inroads into culture and expressing what our country was built on. Not being ashamed, speaking the gospel, not going to shove it down your throat or try to proselytize you, but share what's worked in my life. You know, through my mistakes, my problems, my issues. I go back to the book, man. I go back to the Bible. I go to God. And it's funny how a country that was founded on the principles of God, we run from it on every front. It's in our money in God we trust, for goodness sake. Under God and on our Pledge of Allegiance. I grew up in D.C., 4 blocks northeast of the Capitol, my house. The baby of 9 kids. And on the Supreme Court steps are the 10 Commandments as you ascend the steps. Hello, back in the day, pastors, preachers, men of God would gather together, our forefathers, if you will, and they would pray in the rotunda. They'd pray in the Capitol building. And now it's like, and then they go on with their day, with politics. Let's face it, you can't run far from that, buddy. Apple don't fall far from the tree. I think because it allows the believer to say, with a attitude of holy defiance, if you will, our God's not dead, because he roars in the heart of every believer. And it's almost a battle cry, as you said. It's almost like it's our creed, because we know he's alive. And the Bible says the fool has said in his heart there's no God. And there are a lot of foolish people out there. And am I here to point the finger? Because I was foolish once before I knew the Lord. I've been foolish since I've known the Lord. I've made mistakes and been foolish, trust me. I don't have a clean slate. My point is, I know a God that forgives me. 1 John 1:9, if I confess my sins, he is faithful. But the conditional statement is, if I confess. So, but the song hit a chord in people, and they gave them, even kids, roaring like a lion. That part, it's the power of the words, the songs, and people can relate to it.
I asked Michael about the state of churches today and the mentality of Christians. Do they really believe that God's not dead?
I hear stories of missionaries in Africa and Ecuador and Guatemala of miracles happening and body parts growing back before their eyes. Stuff that I think, well, is that really possible? Well, that's the God we serve. But all that to say, in America today, I think and I'll speak for myself. I'll point one finger out there, and nine back at myself. That we are just kind of consumed with the here and now sometimes, and church has become a bit of a club. Not all churches, but some of the mentality from once again back at me. It became a club for me after a while. It became a place to go to kind of sign in and snap the time card and pay that tithe and okay, let's have some lunch. Where are we going for lunch today? As opposed to really applying it and living out, Matthew 28, going to all the world, going to know your neighbors, living that out loud life. They'll know you're Christians by your love. I'm big on love. Love can be misconstrued for sure, but the love where you love well and you love completely and unjudgingly. And I've come to find that sometimes we judge others simply because they sin differently than we do. The point is, we all are jacked up without Jesus.
In 1999, DC Talk put out a book based on the biggest hit, Jesus Freak, based on Fox's Book of Martyrs, which detailed the deaths of Christians who stood up and did not back down on their faith. They died for it. I asked Michael what that book meant to him and how he sees this persecution happening today.
The book was adapted from the Fox's Book of Martyrs, but it was Old English and it was hard to really digest all those this, thou, thine, all those words. We made it into short stories for people, students, and more modern and a bit more tangible brain space wise. But what I come to find is crazy is those people died for their faith. And Michael Tait's asked to just live for his faith. And I can barely do that sometimes. That's shocking. We've all seen the same stories. I think back, it was a school back in the Northwest, I think, where a cheerleader, or maybe it was in the South, where a cheerleader or a student or a baseball player wanted to have some sort of celebration of his faith. He's a Christian. On school grounds after hours. I think it was on a I can't remember what it was exactly. It was on the news, and it was threatened. And I thought, my gosh, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, if you want to be political about it, or or legal about it, it wasn't even tampering on territory, like unsafe territory. It should have been just okay, all right, but it was a big deal about it, and they brought it to the news, and the news made it national, and of course the liberals had their say on it, and we had our say, but. It's something that should have never been argued. It's like, come on, guys. Why are you running from what made you great? Why?
As we wrapped, I asked Michael, what should Christians do under such scrutiny, where our every action is being watched to see if our Jesus is worthy of consideration?
I want to preach Christ. I want to preach love. I want to preach forgiveness. I want to preach salvation. I want to preach mercy. I want to preach love. And not shove it, but just say, this has worked in my life. It's changed my life. Try it out. The power of the gospel is wrapped up in love. And the two greatest things, love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, love your neighbor as yourself. You can preach the gospel by just living a life of love. People think you gotta, speak in tongues, or you gotta just say this to them. You gotta really just get in there. No, I've come to find that they're gonna know you're Christians by your love. Because they're going to want to see that what is attractive about that guy. It's about knowing that Christ has this thing. He holds it all. When it's all said and done, not by good works. It's not by, going to church or wearing a choir robe. It's about those who stuck it out with Christ, who lived out what he preached. What I try to do, I say, study to show yourself approved. Study, focus, pray a lot. Pray before you speak. Speak a lot less than you love, Love a lot more. Judge a lot less. And know the word. Be ready to give a man or woman an answer. When they ask you, hey, for the hope that lies within you, they want to know. People are hurting. And it turns out that hurt people sometimes. And so give them an answer, man. We have the book. But a lot of us are just, we're in preschool when it comes to the word. It's sad.
We didn't have a lot of time with Michael because he had a concert to get to, but he certainly gave us some wonderful instructions on how to live and make a difference for Christ. Our actions as Christians can be key to holding the line in America today. And so our fight continues, and you need to be informed. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and like this video to see more content coming your way. You can also read my book, Holding the Line, America's Fight for Religious Freedom, available on Amazon. Thanks for joining me, and keep holding the line.